ever in life. Niggas will never be bigger than Buddy. Buddy gonna do it right. Buddy fucking with everybody. You know how many niggas like Drake change? How many niggas can take care of their family because of Buddy? Just like straight fucking with you. Kendrick, goddamn, put a nigga on. Y'all niggas, you're a superstar. You don't ran up you a few hundred M, but you ain't put nobody on though. You see what I'm saying? You ain't even put Keem on. Cause the shit you and him doing, that shit ain't really doing that.
Right.
Put somebody on. It's okay to run you a few hundred M's up, but who you help though? You ain't really help nobody. It's the saying. You did all that shit for nothing, nigga. You ain't help nobody, nigga. Nigga ain't really gaining no fans off of you. Keem ain't big. Keem love hell, man. He can't sell no fucking ticket. Watch out. Like, man, watch out. I truly believe you do a song on me, Wham, Dirt, Moneybag, Savage. I truly believe we'll have your ass dope, trending, like, so it's gonna be like people in the real world fucking with you. Not the goddamn, not the rap world, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be real players and cool bitches, lit bitches and players and shit like that fucking with you. Them type of people ain't fucking with you. You gonna get like the real streets and the real people fucking with you. You gonna get the East Coast fucking, East Coast ain't fucking with you, bro. You really trying to keep all the blessings to yourself. You really trying to keep everything to yourself.
Urban Artificial Intelligence, strategic thinking media platform. Young Thug going at K-Dot for not getting a verse on the phone. Another phone call was exposed. We've seen, I think, about 6 or 7 of these phone calls. Whoever's doing this, they on some mastermind type shit. If you notice, nothing good is being released, right? It's no good conversations. It's no conversations about him complimenting people. It's no conversations about him, helping anybody out or saying, any flattering things about people. It's all bad news. The same here. Young Thug, in a phone call, an elite phone call, he's talking about how Kendrick Lamar will never be bigger than Drake because he reached out to Kendrick for a verse, and I guess he didn't get a response. You can hear him in the phone call. He even talking about paying him. It kind of seemed like he was willing to do whatever to get that verse from Kendrick Lamar. What do y'all think about that, okay? How about the fact that he's cool with Drake? This was obviously after the beef, I believe. So how do y'all feel about that? Before we get into it, how should Drake feel? Should Drake feel a way about this? It is on an album called Business is Business. Maybe that was the case. Maybe it was business is business. He just wanted the verse from Kendrick Lamar. Either way, he didn't get the verse. He feels some type of way. He was in his feelings. I'm sure y'all all heard the audio. What do y'all think about this, man? Is this hater shit? Is this normal, just frustration amongst artists in the industry? Is this, he just frustrated with one of his peers because he didn't get to work with him? Get in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this. Now, Young Thug done spoke on Glorilla. He spoke on P from QC. He spoke on Gucci Mane. He spoke on Gunna. He spoke on Dirk. All right. So getting shit off his chest. He talking about his peers. He talking about his coworkers. A lot of people are they're angling this like he's talking bad about his friends. I don't see it that way. I see this as he's talking about his coworkers, which is a little bit different. And these are private conversations, but still, does some of these conversations kind of make him look snakish? Yes, in my opinion, it does. Now, I'm going to have a lot of other content about him speaking on other things because he get into some deep music topics and he get into some deep music bags in these discussions. This situation right here, we're going to talk about K-Dot, and he also said, the reason that Drake will always be bigger than Kendrick, the reason that Kendrick will never be bigger than Drake is because Kendrick is too secretive. Or he didn't say that specifically, but he basically said Kendrick don't work with people. Kendrick don't put nobody on. He spoke on him not really putting Baby Keem on, which people say that. I've heard that before. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think Baby Keem wants to be this just huge big artist. Baby Keem got a cult following. Baby Keem has fans. All right, Kendrick Lamar has done a lot for his career. All right, Kendrick Lamar has given him good looks, but for whatever reason, a lot of people think because Baby Keem is Kendrick Lamar's cousin, he should be bigger. What do y'all think about that? I think that has a lot to do with the type of fans that Baby Keem have, and I think it got a lot to do with Baby Keem's personality. He seems kind of like Kendrick, not super obsessed with fame. All right, that's just how that whole circle move, and it's kind of refreshing to see. But Is there a possibility that Kendrick isn't doing as much as he could for him? You know, I guess maybe it's a possibility, but we don't know. Clearly, that's what Young Thug thinks. But y'all get in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think. Is the whole mysterious thing working for Kendrick? Does artists not like that? Maybe we starting to see that's not, you know, other artists don't like that. Other artists want you to collab. They want you to work with them. They want to share ideas and thoughts. Is somebody like Kendrick not likable amongst his peers? When it's a person like Drake, who seemingly everybody likes, obviously before, you know, the battle, and I'm not really talking about fans. I'm talking about his peers, the other artists in the game. Even through this, a lot of artists still kind of saying, "Hey, you know, I rock with Drake." Some of them was quiet in there, just saying things now that the beef is over. But either way, Drake is somebody who's helped a lot of people. That's something that we heard Thug say too. He talked about all the people that Drake helped, saying Drake has helped countless artists feed their families, and he said that's something that Kendrick Lamar can't really say. And when you look at Young Thug's blueprint, he kind of took that Drake blueprint too. Young Thug get on everybody's stuff. I remember when Young Thug was blowing up, he was featuring on people who I had never even heard of before. When he had some of the hottest songs, he had Lifestyle, he had a whole lot of crazy songs, he had Hot. He was still getting on random people's music, people who I had never heard of, people who had 7,000 and 8,000 followers, people who had 10 and 12,000 views on their YouTube. He was still getting on their records. So that's a way to move that Young Thug admires from Drake, because he moved the same way. And it's like Kendrick is kind of the opposite. All right. So that's kind of how he feels about that. He clearly likes the artists who reach out and collab more. But I want to ask y'all another question about Kendrick Lamar. Should he diss Young Thug? I think he should. I think this warrants a diss from Kendrick. Maybe I just want to see them two go back and forth. I don't know. Maybe some dope records will come from it. But y'all let me know. What should Kendrick do? All right. Should he say something? Should he reply? To me, that's diss worthy. That's bar worthy. Maybe not a whole song. He don't got to make a whole fuck Young Thug song. But is that a reason to diss somebody? Yes. If I was Kendrick Lamar, would I diss Young Thug? Yes, I would. Now, in Squabble Up, it's a couple of bars that people think are aimed at Young Thug anyway, where he talks about you next to a bitch and you got bitch in you or something like that. A lot of people say he was talking about Young Thug there. I don't know if that's true. I never heard of Kendrick Lamar having a problem with Young Thug before this. I never heard of Young Thug having a problem with Kendrick Lamar before this. So I don't know if that's true. You know how Kendrick fans are. They try to make it seem like Kendrick is Nostradamus and he sees the future. So anything that happens, they're going to go find bars and say, look, Kendrick predicted this. So I don't know if that's true or not. Y'all can get in the comments and let me know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that bar on Squabble Up was for Young Thug? I don't think so. I've never heard of him having any issues in the past, but a couple of people from the West Coast has went at Young Thug online. A couple of people said some things. How is this going to ruin, or how is this going to affect Young Thug's relationship with artists on the West Coast? I'm not going to say ruin yet because that's not the case, but we do see some people from the West Coast talking, you know, about the situation, replying back to Young Thug, trying to get Thug's attention. I'm not going to say it's for clout. They might just be defending their homie, but should Young Thug respond back? Y'all get in the comments and let me know. DJ Academics was speaking to Wack 100 on one of his lives recently, a day or so ago, and Wack 100 basically said he on Young Thug head top. He didn't like what Young Thug said about P from QC. I guess him and Wack 100 got a good relationship. And then for Young Thug to say this, it was other people chiming in on that same live saying that this was disrespect to the West Coast. Glasses Malone went on a long rant about it. Glasses Malone was talking like Young Thug asked him for a feature. But he went on a whole big rant about how the West Coast don't need Young Thug in the West Coast, blah blah blah, this and that. Well, I mean, Young Thug's hotter than everybody on the West Coast besides Kendrick. So, you're right. They don't need each other. So, I think it was more about Kendrick than the West Coast. I mean, I didn't see Young Thug ask anybody else on the West Coast for a verse, just Kendrick. So he don't need the West Coast either. But I want to see. I'm interested to see how the West Coast will receive Thug after this, man. Will it blow over? Will this not be a big deal in a couple of days? You never know, man. But I want y'all to get in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about a couple of different situations surrounding this. How should Drake feel? All right. You my homie, you my dog. You reached out to Kendrick Lamar for a feature. And what if Kendrick Lamar would have got on the album? Would that have been a problem for Drake? Drake finding out that Young Thug wanted Kendrick Lamar on the album. Is that a problem? I don't know, man. It's a lot going on here. These calls keep getting leaked, and I'm gonna keep making content about him because he's talking about some real deep hip hop business shit in some of these calls, man. But let me know what y'all think about this, man. Young Thug shitting on Kendrick Lamar because he didn't do a feature with him. Urban Artificial Intelligence, strategic thinking media platform. I'm gonna see y'all in the next episode. Peace.